There are few people in racing history that are notable characters, yet their stories aren't really remembered. There's a multitude of reasons that could cause this to happen, but regardless, it does happen. The topic of today's video is one of these cases because I'd take a bet that most IndyCar fans know about Dale Coyne. However, most of you don't know about his forgotten IndyCar career as a driver and his general life story. That's exactly what we'll be discussing, as in this episode of All IndyCar, we talk about Dale Coyne. Welcome back to All IndyCar, the motorsports history show looking at the most interesting stories in American open-wheel racing. Dale Coyne was born in Minooka, Illinois on July 8th, 1954. Little is known about his early life and his route into motorsports, but we do know that starting in 1984, Dale started his very own team. I've seen quite a few people get this wrong, but the team's debut wasn't at Portland, it was actually at the second race of the year at Phoenix. Jim McElrath, who had raced in IndyCar since 1961, would attempt his final IndyCar race with Dale Coyne racing. This would end badly, as he was one of the 10 drivers that failed to qualify for the race. The team's next 2 entries were at the hands of Tom Bigelow, which once again resulted in 2 DNQs. Dale Coyne would then be the driver of the car for the rest of the year, starting at the Meadowlands. His time in the car was not very good, as his first 4 races all ended in DNQs. The team took a break after Road America, but would return to Mid-Ohio, where Dale Coyne would make his first ever IndyCar race. He qualified 24th, but would avoid crashes and mechanical failures on his way to a 14th place finish. His final 2 attempts of 1984 would have results expected when calling them attempts and not races. 1985 was frankly awful, as in the 11 races he attempted, Dale would fail to qualify 5 times, DNF in another 5, and fail to start Milwaukee. 1986 would end up being Dale's best season as a driver. It still wasn't that great, as he failed to qualify 6 times and would retire from another 6 races. However, the positives came from Dale finally making it to the finish. At San Air Speedway and Road America, Dale would finish 12th and 17th respectively. That 12th place finish at San Air would end up being Dale's best ever IndyCar finish, and would be one of only 7 races he ever finished in his whole career. Over the next 3 years, Dale would race less and less, as drivers like Dominic Dobson, Guido Dacco, John Paul Jr., and others began racing for the team. By 1990, Dale Coyne would hand over driving duties to Dean Hall, but would return for 1991 for one last hurrah. Sadly, his final IndyCar starts ended in DNFs and DNQs, a quiet end to a frankly quiet career. Unless you've been living under a rock or are very new to IndyCar, you know that Dale Coyne Racing is still around to this day and is yielding the number 51 and 18 of Takuma Sato and David Malukas. The team has won with the likes of Justin Wilson and Sebastian Bourdais, and with a very promising lineup for this year, I wouldn't be surprised if the team's win tally goes up before the end of the season. When it comes to Dale himself and his career, he wasn't very good. It doesn't really matter though, because Dale Coyne's impact on IndyCar isn't as a driver, it's as a team owner who's brought some very talented drivers into IndyCar and shaped the sport without many realizing it.